Hi guys, and welcome to episode 63 of the Crochet Cakes podcast. My name is Clarissa Beth, and I am your host for each and every podcast from February 2018 onwards. You can find me as Crochet Cakes anywhere on the internet, and that includes Twitter, Instagram, Ravelry, Elo, here on YouTube, Pinterest. You can also follow my blog at crochetcakes.com. I do try to post twice a week, and I'm having so much fun creating new content for you guys that I can't even describe it. You can also email me directly at crochetcakespodcast@gmail.com. You may also join the Ravelry group for this podcast, which can be found in Ravelry. If you search in the groups tab for Crochet Cakes podcast, you will find the wonderful community of crafters that are currently participating in the Vintage Mal, which, let me tell you guys, there are some beautiful, beautiful projects in that chatter thread, and I highly encourage you to take a look, and I highly encourage you to participate because I am having so much fun just looking at all the projects everybody's working on that I'm thinking of extending the podcast until at least June or July. I'm not sure. I'll have to get back to you on that. So go ahead and join the Ravelry group so you can be kept up to date on all the comings and goings. And also follow my blog and visit, because I think I do try to get very up close and personal in the blog, and I like to give you guys as much fun content as I am able to create twice a week. And also, if you are interested, my Etsy shop is still currently open, and I'm running a 30% off sale for those of you that are interested, and I'm calling it a closing sale because I'm thinking of taking the shop in another direction. And I've been doing a lot of brainstorming. Nothing is definitive yet, but what is definitive is that for the time being, the shop will remain closed. First and foremost, because I'm trying to empty it out, number one. And number two, because I am going to a wedding. I'm going to my own wedding. And I leave next week to Puerto Rico, and I will not be back for some time, so I just simply won't be next to any of the inventory items for the Etsy shop. So I wanted to give you guys a good discount celebrating Mother's Day, which is up and coming, and also celebrating that I'm getting married. What more could we celebrate? Mother's Day and marriage. Love and marriage, love and marriage. Anyway, what else can I tell you? Another reason you should follow the blog and join the Ravelry group is because Claudia and I are hosting the Summer Romance Cal again, and we will also be doing a live when I come back from Puerto Rico, which will of course let you know the date and time that we will be doing that live, so we can answer any questions that you have over there. And of course, I promise guys, I'm going to open that chatter thread so we can just start talking our butts off about who we are representing in the Summer Romance Cal this year, because the theme is when opposites attract. How more 80s can we get? It's beautiful. It is beautiful. Boy, I actually do have a lot to talk to you guys about, and I have a lot, well, not a lot. I have several finished objects that I could be sharing with you, but I'm not going to do that. Today, I'm going to just be me, and I'm going to chat your ear off, because I'm going to be talking about my pattern design and also about the current Instagram conversation of designers and why they charge money. Because, yeah, we need to explain that, apparently. But anyway, first things first is my design of Las Nubes. If this is the first time tuning into the podcast, then you'll have absolutely no idea what I am talking about. So let me refresh your mind. I am talking about this gorgeous, flowy summer goddess, and this is Las Nubes. Imagine chorus music playing right now. Okay, so this first version of the blouse was crocheted using Shalimar yarns. This is the Air Base, which is a merino silk, and I think it's alpaca or mohair. I really don't remember the third fiber. But it is essentially a seamless crochet top done from the bottom up. Yes, it's done from the bottom up and it is seamless. I kid you not, guys. A lot of math went into that. So at the bottom here, we start with a pineapple stitch, and then we move on to some extended single crochets all the way to our reverse raglan, which makes up the yoke, and then we crochet our sleeves. So it is essentially just done in one piece, and then you work on the sleeves. You pick up stitches and you work on the sleeves. There is only 2 things that you have to crochet separately, and that will be in the pattern, because I'm not giving all my secrets away, guys. I have to keep some for intrigue purposes, and yeah, mainly for intrigue purposes. Right, so this was the first version of the top. The second version was crocheted using Little Bean Love's hand-painted yarns and the Bakery Bears yarn. So we've got 2 different fiber contents, 2 different fiber thicknesses, and similar colors. So this is essentially, one is the Peruvian Instant Darkness powder, and the other one is Ramus Lupin. So here on the sleeve area, you can clearly see which one is the Ramus Lupin colorway, because it's a lot lighter than the Peruvian Instant Darkness powder. But that's not the only difference. The other difference is, I think I'm holding the shirt inside out. Yeah, I'm definitely holding the shirt inside out. How do I know that? Because I always like to leave a little end that I don't weave in, so that I know which one's the outside of the garment and which one's the inside of the garment. So, turning it proper side out. I even forgot what I was saying. Oh, right. 2 different fiber contents. So the Little Bean Loves yarn is a lot thinner than the Ramus Lupin yarn, which is dyed by Kay from the Bakery Bears. So this blouse does not have much stretch. You see, kind of like here, it doesn't have as much stretch or drapiness as the Shalimar yarns. Oh my God, this one. Hello. This is my love affair right now. But anyway, I have done 2 small versions and 1 medium version. This is the medium version of the blouse. This is not blocked, and it's not even finished. You can see something's not attached, and I've definitely not crocheted the sleeves, right? So this is in the process. And I think I'm only going to use 200 grams for it as well. This is a little bit left over, and this will be enough for both sleeves, I am sure. Which means for both the small and the medium, you only need 2 hanks of yarn. Fingering weight yarn. How exciting is that? Same construction in the medium, but crocheting this one, I did find mistakes. Mostly in the yoke area. Not with the math, but with the amount of decreases I had to do. So all that can be found in the pattern, which I'm really, really excited to get to you guys, and I hope that you guys enjoy it as well. I really can't say much about it, except that, like I said, my favorite version is without a doubt the Shalimar yarns, and also single ply. If you can't get your hands on Shalimar yarns, which I completely understand, it's a little bit of a splurge, but it's so worth it. The next thing is single ply yarn. Single ply yarn just gives such a great stitch definition. Oh, I mean, compare that stitch definition to this. They're both good, because the Ramus Lupin colorway was a high twist yarn, which also gives a good definition. But the single ply definition is so much better. Even though, I have to say, this yarn, not my favorite. This feels you can definitely feel the plastic coating from the superwash in this yarn, and it is very kinky, so it was overspun, and that caused some kinks to develop in the yarn. And you can kind of see it here. This is a piece that was overspun. So that was really annoying because it means you have some normal parts and then some really thin parts of the yarn. So I'm not sure how good that is, but this one was also part of a Knit Crate subscription, and the colors are, I'm not going to say similar to the Shalimar yarns, but you know, it's also got the purples, it's got the blues. This one has black and pinks as well. So, and we've also got some really deep blues. That color right there, that deep blue, was my favorite color of all in these two hanks, I mean. And this was Dragonfly fibers, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see, I still have the ball band in here. Yep, Dragonfly fibers. Pixie base, 430 yards, 4 ounces, 100% superwash merino, and the colorway is Metamorphosis. Now, let's talk about where this pattern is going to be released. Because if you follow me on Instagram, you may or may not have seen that I am having a closing sale on my Etsy shop, as I also previously mentioned here. And I had a couple people write me and ask were they going to be able to buy the pattern then if I was closing the Etsy shop. And the answer would be Ravelry. But don't worry, I mean closing sale as in trying to get all the inventory out, because it will be closed or on vacation for the duration of my wedding. So, back to where you would find this. I struggled a lot with the decision of if I was going to make this pattern available for free or if I was going to charge for this pattern. And reason for that also delves a little bit into my blog. Now, I love creating content for my blog. I love being a blogger. I just love creating in general, and having an extra space that is all my own to share it with you guys makes me so incredibly happy. But I also wanted to make some money off of my blog. And the way I did that was by activating the ads on the blog and, you know, having those really sometimes disturbing ads pop up. Now, don't freak out and go running because you heard I activated ads. If you visited my blog, you know I have ads. But do you know, or are you aware that, and I'm only telling this because I've heard some viewers tell podcasters that they're going to stop watching their podcast because they now have ads on YouTube. And they're not going to support anybody that's trying to make rich. So, it's really hard to actually make money off of your blog. You have to be super, super famous, okay? And what's wrong with trying to make money off of your craft? Absolutely nothing. It's a talent that you have. You're producing things that are completely your own. You are free to charge for that. It's your life, it's your job, it's your time, it's your talent. So just because you're representing yourself doesn't mean you can't charge for it. Just wanted to get that out there real quick. So anyway, I just want to give you an idea of what monetizing your blog actually means. So generally it means that for every 1,000 views, you get 10 cents. That's what it means. And for me, that has meant that in the year that I've been trying to monetize my blog, and in the 6 months I've been actively pursuing followers, viewers, and monetization for my blog, I have made a whopping $1.32. That's what I've made, guys. That's what I've made off my blog. And I'm not telling you this so you feel sorry for me or anything like that. I am telling you this so, in case you weren't aware, that's kind of what it means when you live off of your blog. So if you're getting 300,000 views a month, that means you're making about $700 a month, which is not bad. But obviously, if you're trying to make a serious living off of it, you would at least like $2,000 a month. That was my goal. So my goal was that in 1 year I would have enough views and I would have produced enough good content to have people visit my blog and be able to make $2,000 a month off of it. Now, you also have to understand that when you have a blogger or a designer producing free content on their blog, and I'm talking here in terms of crochet, knitting, so crafting blogs, designers that are putting out free content on the blog also have expenses. So when I talk about making $2,000 a month, you have to subtract the monthly expenses that I incur trying to produce that content. So yarn I may have bought to produce the pattern, software that I may have purchased to help with editing pictures and whatnot. So for example, if you have Adobe Creative Suite in your computer still, you rock, I envy you. But for the rest of us, we have to pay about $10 a month for the software. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's $10 a month for each software, I think. So it's kind of like a subscription service for the software. And yeah, I just wanted to give you guys kind of like that idea. So I just wanted to chat with you about a little bit behind the background of what being a full-time designer, full-time blogger would entail if you're putting free patterns up on your blog. So that was my idea at the beginning. But selling the pattern also had, certain attraction. It meant that whatever I sold the pattern for, I would see some money immediately, because that's another thing. So I already mentioned that you get paid 10 cents per 1,000 views, but you don't get any money deposited in your account unless you have reached $100. So just to give you an idea, if you have 50,000 views on your blog daily, that would mean that you have $150 maybe a month. So you would get paid those $150, and then the next month you would get paid $150 because you have reached or surpassed their $100 mark. My case, I have yet to see my money. It is unpaid because I have not reached $100. I'm only at $1.32. So yeah, I'm very far from that first paycheck from my blog. But seeing some money faster was not the only motivation I had for wanting to sell my pattern. I put a lot of time into creating this garment. I put a lot of love, and I definitely broke my head against the wall trying to math it out and trying to make sure that everything was as great as I could get it. And not only does charging for the pattern cover my time of designing it, it also covers the time I spent writing out the pattern, the time I spent taking photographs for my pattern. So all in all, speaking based on my experience, it takes me a lot of time to produce a pattern, and I don't understand why some people think you shouldn't charge for them. I understand that not everybody can afford to buy patterns. Right now, in my current income, it is something that I can't afford either. Not because I think they're too expensive, not because I don't think they're worth it. It's simply because I don't have money to spare right now. And spending $13 on a pattern might mean not putting gas in my car, you know? So I understand that everybody's circumstances are different, and I understand that patterns are not affordable all the time. So keeping in mind all this discussion that's been going on in Instagram about designers not getting paid what they're worth and all that, I have decided to put a part of the pattern up for free on my blog. And if you would like the full pattern, that will be available for sale on Ravelry and on Etsy. Why did I decide to divide it this way? Because the pineapple portion of the blouse, I got off a tutorial on YouTube, and the person who put up the tutorial never got back to me on whether or not that was a completely original design, whether they had found the design in a book and they were just doing a video tutorial for it. So I did not know the copyright of that stitch pattern. And I am aware that stitch patterns, as long as you explain them differently and you don't copy word for word what the designer put down, you are allowed to use them, because that's why stitch dictionaries exist and why you do designs based on stitch dictionaries. But I didn't feel really comfortable doing that because I didn't know if it was a completely original design. And even though I wrote my own instructions and I adapted the pattern to work in the round, and I did the math for the sizes small, medium, large, and extra large, something just didn't sit right with me. So I am making the pineapple portion of this blouse available for you to get for free on my blog. And on Etsy and on Ravelry, you will find the full paid for pattern, and that will of course include this free portion. But what I am charging you for is the math behind everything from here on up, including the reverse raglan that I designed for this top, which is not something I've really come across in crochet. I know I've come across it in knitting, but not crochet. So that was my decision process and my thought process behind the Las Nubes pattern. I'm still really nervous about publishing this pattern, so I'm trying to work up the courage. I actually had originally planned to make it available today, May 1st, which is Beltane, which is when the Summer Queen welcomes the Green Man. So it's supposed to mark the beginning of summer. And it feels kind of like the beginning of summer in Florida already, so yay! But anyway, I just wanted to chat a bit more to you guys about my pattern, the thought process that went behind it, and where you would find it available. I will definitely let you know through Instagram and the blog and also Pinterest when the pattern becomes available. So please do not hesitate to follow me on the blog, on Instagram, and on Pinterest. Like I said, I do try to post bi-weekly on the blog. I try to post on Instagram every day, or if not every other day, and on Pinterest I am pretty active. It's a black hole in Pinterest, I'm not gonna lie. And speaking of the blog and Pinterest and black holes, I am going to publish a blog post tomorrow about traveling with crochet and just how I go about deciding what I'm going to take on a plane and what I'm going to leave behind. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that too. And yeah, just thank you so much for tuning in. I will be seeing you in June after I am married. And after my wedding, I will of course try and do as many wedding vlogs as I can. I don't know if I'll be able to get them up, but at least they'll be recorded and I'll be able to just put them all in one go. And I'll definitely be posting pictures on Instagram about all the crochet decorations and stuff for the wedding. I will not be posting actual wedding dress shoes footage until after the wedding because my husband-to-be follows me on Instagram, so I don't want him to see any of that. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in today, and thank you for just chatting with me. If you have any comments, questions, or queries, please write them down below, and don't hesitate to chat with me at all. I love catching up with you guys, so let me know. Let me know what you think of the pattern. Are you excited to make it? Are you not excited because it's not your style? Are you afraid that you won't wear it? Just let me know any and all questions down below, and I will get back to you in a timely manner. Bye guys. Happy crafting!